How many sweaters do you think I have? It's cold up here in Canada. I don't live somewhere extremely nice. Anyway, so today we're doing the game 2 of OG versus IG in the upper bracket. This game IG won, and this don't look at duration, it was actually like 25 minutes long. The replay, I think they had to do the draft and then they had to do another game afterwards. So this is gonna be the draft replay. We're gonna watch that first. So doing the draft and the game analysis of them. And I said that if we have time afterwards, let's see how long it takes to finish. Um, we might just do the patch analysis later as well of 7.05, or what my first impressions are of uh, I'm gonna after that. This is not our son. I changed it. I updated the information. We should be fine. Gonna quickly check that. Alright, we're gonna be starting in 1 minute. Alright, so OG versus IG game 2. Before we start, we should get a quick recap of what happened yesterday, um, on the first game of IG versus OG. So IG, they had a pretty strong early game, but how they probably felt is that the alchemist just took over the game the moment he got radiance and they could not fight, and the way that IG want to play based off objectives was completely nullified by the fact that this alchemist can just farm way too much during the time that IG is trying to push towers. So going into game 2, what is IG going to think? They're going to think that Alchemist is probably the only reason why that game got really hard. And secondly, they probably think that the picking Tinker in the first two is probably not a very good option against OG. There were heroes like Clockwork and Night Stalker that I think IG didn't really expect, or even if they did expect those heroes to be picked against their Tinker, they didn't think that it would be so effective against their Tinker. So going into game 2, they might think about taking this Lina again, since it was one of their best heroes during the groups, and it was definitely one of the best heroes throughout the entire tournament. And let, let's look at the OG draft real quick from game 1, just to make sure if Lina was even banned in game 1 when they picked the Tinker. I believe, if I recall correctly, yes. So in game 1, Lina wasn't even banned, so they might just go back. They just lost the game. They tried to do Lifestealer Tinker, it didn't really work out. So let's just go back to doing something else that we're very comfortable with, that we did in our groups. All right. So game 2, IG versus OG. Draft has started. Now IG have the first pick, since OG won the coin toss and they had first pick in the first game. Now IG have first pick, and they have started with the Enigma band. So Enigma, like we talked about in the previous video, it's why I believe this hero's banned is, one, it's a very strong team fighter. Two, he can be very good at absorbing pressure from the heroes that Burning plays, like Lifestealer and Juggernaut, and he can actually lane against these heroes in a way that it pressures the carry instead. So Enigma, he will continuously deny these range creeps, bring the lane back. Burning will feel very underleveled. He'll always feel like he needs support there. And how IG actually play, they don't really want to have supports in his lane. They want their supports to be able to move around and make actions for his team so that mid will have a good game. So their offlaner will have a good game and all that. So leaving Enigma in the pool is extremely dangerous for IG's playstyle. And that hero is actually extremely good versus Lifestealer and Juggernaut as well, since he has a way to go through their magic immunity, and Lifestealer, like, he can't really do his infest tricks when he's trying to push on tower. Most of the time what happens is you go to a Lifestealer lane and you try to gank him, you just infest your creep, and then the gank is over. But against Enigma, he can deny your creep, he can do damage to magic immunity, and he can stop your magic immune TPs and whatnot. So if you think about it that way, it's an extremely high value ban against OG, since S4 did play this hero, and even if they want to ban this hero in the second phase, it's probably just better to get rid of it right away so they don't have to think about it in this game. So first ban, Enigma. Very good.
Dire team
Now
ban.
OG again, they banned the Magnus. So in the first game, OG was first pick and they banned Magnus, which means that when IG is first pick, they're probably also gonna ban Magnus from that end, because they just think that Magnus is probably IG's best hero, and it's extremely hard for OG to play their style against Magnus. OG's style is more related to like splitting up the map and trying to make the enemy to make mistakes by TPing in the wrong places, and OG will most likely always all farm you in this kind of way. But Magnus doesn't really allow for that, because when you split the map against Magnus, you're probably going to get all farmed. And going into the late game, Magnus is a BKB lockdown uh, AoE stunner hero, and he just empowers all your carries. So the games can become very scary going into the late game. And OG, they actually are really good late game team. So two very powerful heroes banned out in the first phase. And now this ban. So Alchemist. The first game we saw what happened. OG's Alchemist kind of just took over the game at 16 minutes or 14 during the first fight with Radiance, and since then the game just sort of went downhill. IG understand at this point that throughout this tournament the only games they actually lost were against Alchemist, except for the game against Empire, I believe. Yeah, they lost against NP with Alchemist in the groups. They lost against IGV uh, when they had Alchemist as well. So now they probably understood that they can't give Alchemist to any team. This hero is just the bane of their existence at the moment, and they just decide, like, if they're not going to first pick the Alchemist themselves, there is no way they can leave in the pool, because OG will 100% take this hero. OG is the type of team where if they see the opportunity to take this hero and it's very good versus the enemy, they're just gonna pick it. No matter what counters you have, it doesn't matter. They will always think of a way to make it work. So
OG's
now
turn
IG
to
have
ban.
decided to just get rid of this Alchemist.
Dire team pick.
And OG have now banned out the Tinker. So first game, OG played Clockwork and Night Stalker versus Tinker. So and they found it to be very effective. But why did they ban the Tinker out in this game? Why did they ban the Tinker out in this game? So what does it mean that they banned the Tinker out? Does it mean that they have no bans? No, they probably do have bans. There are heroes like Monkey King left in the pool. There's Earth Spirit left in the pool, but they went to ban Tinker. So let's think about what does that mean that they don't ban Monkey King? So let's say they ban Monkey King here, right? In the first game, what we noticed was that all the roamers in the game were kind of just banned out. Monkey King, Earth Spirit, and Slardar. They were all gone in the first phase and in the second phase. So Bawoka played Nyx Assassin, and Jerax played, what did he play? Oh yeah, he played Night Stalker that game. So this means that if they ban Monkey King here instead, then IG have the opportunity to just first pick an Earth Spirit, and OG end up with no trade for a roamer. Because I don't think I don't think OG necessarily want to just first face a Slaughter. I believe whenever I saw OG get Slaughter, the games were quite difficult. Because Slaughter is this hero who needs to farm up to his Blink Dagger, where Jirax is this kind of player who doesn't really doesn't want to like sit in a lane and just try to farm this dagger. He's this kind of guy who wants to constantly be on the map, get providing vision, trying to make some plays happen. But Slaughter doesn't really suit that kind of play style. So uh, for that reason, OG might be thinking about just making a trade here, the monkey for the Earth Spirit. And we talked about how Earth Spirit is like both these teams sort of semi counters to the monkey. And I think that's what's about to go down right now. And secondly, the Tinker, if let's say IG first pick a Lifestealer again in this game, and OG decide to pick two heroes here, they would have to actually pick a hero that's good against Tinker in one of these two picks, or IG is going to get Tinker in the second pick right here, and then they're going to ban out two Tinker counters. So picking Tinker when your first pick is much scarier than picking Tinker when your second pick. Because what happened in the first game was that OG picked Visage first, and then IG picked Lifestealer and Tinker, and OG got to pick Alchemist instantly. So Alchemist being a pretty decent hero versus Tinker, they got it, and this game they know that they will not get Alchemist no matter what, so they just decide that it's way too scary to play against the Tinker when they don't know if it's going to come or not, and IG this time will ban out the counters to this Tinker, whereas the first game they really didn't. They banned Juggernaut and Ursa. Juggernaut is okay, but the Ursa wasn't probably necessary, and they could have banned out a Clockwork, and the game would have been much easier for IG's Tinker to play. So this Tinker, I think the main real reason is probably because they want to make trades for the roaming supports, but secondly, they also don't want to play against the first pick, the second pick from the first pick Tinker. Alright, we'll move on to see what IG is gonna do. Actually, before we move on, right now, what heroes are in the pool? There's Monkey King, there's Earth Spirit, there's Lina. These are probably the top heroes to be able to pick. There's also Crystal Maiden, I guess, but Crystal Maiden shouldn't be picked so highly when all these other guys are currently in the pool. Throughout this, yeah, okay, we'll go on. So the first pick for IG.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds.
Monkey King.
It's gonna be
OG's turn to
Boboka's
pick.
Monkey King. So IG going back to what they really want throughout this whole tournament. Boboka's Monkey King has literally been destroying every single game. This is probably his favorite hero at the moment. He roams extremely well with it. People watch him, they copy his actions, they do his build, the Poor Man's Shield Tango build. I'm not sure if he's the one who innovated it, but I think he's the one who I watched do it first at least. So they're just gonna go with the monkey, and the monkey, he's just a really powerful roamer at the moment. No, people just don't know how to really deal with him leaping around trees. Very hard to keep up with. He can, and if he's not roaming, then he's gonna be zoning in the safe lane. And his zoning abilities is extremely powerful. He still buys the Poor Man's Shield, the enemy cannot trade with him, and then he has Jingu Mastery, he gets 4 hits, he gets 75 damage. On level 1, he gets 75 damage if he gets 4 hits off, and 15% lifesteal. So it's extremely hard for any of the current offlaners in the patch to be able to just one-on-one against this one support hero. So very powerful pick, and let's see how OG will react to it.
OG's
Earth
turn to
Spirit
pick.
and
Dire
Visage.
team pick.
Okay. Earth Spirit and Visage. So Earth Spirit, we said how in the first game, both teams banned out in the first phase Monkey King and Earth Spirit. And this time both Monkey King and Earth Spirit are left in the pool, and they have been picked in the first phase. And we talked about how we believe that Earth Spirit is what IG and OG think to be the counters to the Monkey King on the roaming level. So if we think about why, it's probably because Monkey sort of has to like dive your towers, and Earth Spirit is really good at counter ganking that. Also, if we think about his Boulder Smash, he can actually kick the Monkey King out of his ultimate as well in team fights. So that could easily be another reason. And Earthspit also has the ability to break the trees with his rolling boulder, or was it boulder? I'm not sure if Smash also breaks trees, but I'm not really an Earth Spirit player, so I'm not entirely sure about that. But yeah, I know his spells will break trees, so multiple reasons why Earthspit could be very good versus Monkey King. And secondly, they pick a Visage. So this is their fifth position support hero. OG really liked this hero as a team fighter. He has very good spells for that. And versus Monkey King, I would think he's pretty good too, because he has birds who can scout him out. He has extremely high burst damage, and that's what you actually want against Monkey. You want to try and get rid of him as soon as you can from the fights, so he can't just sit there inside of his ultimate, or he can't just cast multiple stunts and whatnot. The only thing I don't really like about OG's draft at the moment is that they picked both their supports in the first phase. So what this shows is that when you pick both your supports, you know exactly the power that the enemy's early game movement can have. So the power they have is Earth Spirit Visage. Now they automatically know that the Visage is not really going to roam with an Earth Spirit. So the only roaming that OG have is this Earth Spirit. And Visage's laning can be exploited by many many offlaners. So that's what this tells. And personally, I don't really like when you pick your two supports in the first phase, because you don't really have the flexibility of drafting some other support to save your save something. Like maybe IG pick a Naga Siren or something. Now you cannot pick a Lion to try and counter him, something like that. But OG are probably feeling a bit of pressure being second pick and just seeing a Monkey King. They're not really sure what kind of core they want to pick here, so they just decided to go with a support solid Visage pickup.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds.
And
Reserve
IG's
time.
response to this
Lina.
is Lina. Alright, Lina. This hero had what an 80% win rate throughout this tournament or something, and a lot of teams played this hero. So IG's Lina was one of the first Linas that I spotted throughout this tournament. Um, they like to pick it early so that they have the option to have Lina either mid or she can be a support later on. So this game, their first pick, they're probably going to um, I mean, it doesn't really matter whether like you want to put a support. Like probably at this point in time, they've already decided that this Lina is gonna be a core. The only time that I noticed they picked a Lina and then put it as a support was when they wanted to pick a Tinker, and the Lina was getting countered by something. So in this situation, Tinker's already banned. It's a safe assumption that there's gonna be a core Lina, and they just want to do their Monkey King Lina combo. What is the Monkey King Lina combo? The Monkey King Lina combo is when Monkey goes mid lane, he uses his tree dance into a stun. Lina has a very easy time to cast her bursty spells, and any hero on mid lane will pretty much just die. There's I can't think of any hero that can stand the pressure of the Lina already one-on-one in the lane. And if you add a Monkey King to it who has a slow and a stun and makes it easy for Lina to land her spells, they're most likely just going to die. And this combo is extremely powerful not only during the laning stage but also to invade the enemy jungle. Monkey King is a hero who provides a lot of vision for his team. He can jump around, he can go into your jungle without being seen, he can place vision, and it's gonna be extremely hard for your carries to farm there because they don't know if they're being watched or not. And if they're being watched, a monkey and Lina can just smoke in there together, or Lina can smoke by herself and go to the monkey, get an easy pick, people, and then IG can just collapse on the towers. So, in my opinion, right now IG have gotten two of their best heroes they played throughout this tournament. They got Monkey and they got Lina, and now they probably feel absolutely invincible as to how the flow of the game can go. They feel like it doesn't matter what heroes OG will pick; these two heroes are capable of killing them.
OG's turn to ban.
Now, what will be OG's
10
bans?
seconds. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Centaur.
Dire team ban.
Alright. So Centaur, we also saw it banned out in the first game. It's one of the Chinese team's favorite hero on the offlaner. He has a blink AoE stun, and he is an extremely strong team fighter later on with his Aghanim's ultimate. So this hero also OG banned it out in the first game. It's a pretty good hero versus Visage. His birds can't really like attack him because the return damage will most likely kill the birds. And in the laning stage, I think Visage has an extremely hard time laning against a Centaur since he has zero armor and he's not gonna get cloak early on. He's gonna have some kind of like Grave Chill and 2 levels in Soul Assumption, or what 2 levels in Grave Chill, 1 level in Soul Assumption. So it's very hard for a Visage to try and lane against a Centaur and zone him. So good ban, team fighter, hero, blink stunner, solid. And now IG ban out the Naga Siren. So they completely understand now that Alchemist is gone from the pool that the next hero that OG is gonna pick is this annoying Naga Siren. So they decide that it's time to get rid of another hero that's kind of similar to Alchemist. Obviously, Naga does a little bit of different things. She's but they're kind of like the same species, you know, some illusion-based Radiance heroes. Very annoying to play against.
10 seconds.
And now Spectre ban. Okay, so this is a very interesting ban, right? Throughout this tournament, there aren't many players who played this hero, but Burning is one of them. I think how they see it is that Monkey King and Lina can create enough space in the early game that the Spectre just becomes way too annoying to deal with. They can't really shut him down, and since OG have Earth Spirit Visage, it's very unlikely that they're gonna go aggro Trilane versus any hero. And you don't really want to give Spectre a solo like free farm. And when you have a Monkey King and you're not gonna go aggro, that means that no matter what carry the enemy has, he's probably gonna get free farm because the monkey is just gonna zone out the offlaner and the carry is just gonna farm. So they decided that Spectre is probably IG's best hero, best hardest carry hero that they can pick and can really screw them up. And Spectre is like very good with these kind of fighter heroes, Monkey King and Lina. She can how she wants to play is she wants to farm and she wants to ult in as much as she can so she can get some kills and then go back to farming. And Monkey and Lina, all they think about is actually fighting the enemy. They think about how they can possibly cast all their spells, get some kills, and push out waves. So Spectre would have been a very nice addition to IG's lineup, and it's a hero that Burning has been enjoying to play. Alright, IG's next pick.
10 seconds remaining.
Alright, IG's next ban, Terrorblade. So again, another illusion hero. So IG has decided that they just don't want to play against any illusion heroes at all. Terrorblade is a hero that Noteo has played quite a bit in this tournament, especially during the groups. He I think he plays actually one of the best Terrorblades, maybe even the best Terrorblade. He knows how to move around the map with his hero. He knows how to pressure towers with it. He does a lot. He does a lot of moves for his team with Terrorblade, and I think that's what makes him extremely good at this hero. and IG decided that they just don't want to play. To be honest, I think like Monkey King is not good versus Terrorblade, since Terrorblade can just burst a monkey, and Terrorblade has like very high armor, and Monkey is not very good versus like physical damage heroes like that. But Lina is quite good versus TB. She has two spells that can just clear the illusions, and she has a very high burst where you can just kill the Terrorblade before he can even uses Sunder. Also, Lina is a hero that can defend your towers quite well against a hero like Terrorblade. So I'm not too sure if they have to be worried about this Terrorblade, but they decided that if they're just gonna ban Alkanaga, might as well just ban Terrorblade with it at this point and just get rid of all the illusion heroes. They probably think like if OG don't have illusion heroes, they can't beat them. And now OG, this is their reaction to the Lina pick. When your second pick, you have to pick out of the ban stage, and it's gonna be something that has to be good against Lina and Monkey.
Reserve time.
Abaddon.
Dire team pick.
Alright. So why Abaddon? This pick actually puzzles me quite a bit. This hero didn't really have a very high win rate in this tournament. It's mainly because of the groups. After the groups, in the main stage, he started winning some games, but Abaddon versus Lina and Monkey, I'm not really too sure. I think Abaddon as a hero, he's not very good versus Monkey in the lane unless you give him help. Like Earth Spirit, I guess, can sort of help out the Abaddon, but that all depends on what IG's support and carry is going to be in the safe lane. But at this moment in time, Monkey King can actually just zone out the Abaddon in the lane by himself with his Jingu Mastery. And against Lina, I don't think like Abaddon is good versus Lina either. She has extremely high bursty spells, and Abaddon doesn't really like that. She can actually pop Abaddon's ultimate from very far range, and that's like the kind of game that Abaddon doesn't really want to play. So I'm quite puzzled about the Abaddon pick here. Maybe OG didn't really know what they wanted at this point. I'm trying to think about like what heroes are still left in the pool. Maybe even a Clockwork could have been really nice, because I think Clock is extremely good versus Monkey King, especially as a core clock. He can pull back the lane, so the monkey can't just zone him straight up with his cogs. And later on in the game, if Clockwork ever hooks into a monkey, he can just cog him, battery assault, and monkey cannot cast any spells inside of these cogs. Also, Clockwork is a natural blade mail buyer, and that item is quite good versus monkey as well, so he cannot really trade with you. And against Lina, it's the same concept, right? Lina does not have any escape mechanisms. If Clockwork just hooks onto a Lina, pops blade mail, she's probably just gonna kill herself. And you can't really go with having more catch in your lineup. Right now, all OG have is an Earth Spirit for a catch hero, and typically S4 plays the other catch hero in OG's lineups. So now they picked this Abaddon. They're already saying that this Abaddon is most likely gonna be off lane. There are some teams that played Abaddon carry, so it could be an Abaddon carry. Very unlikely for OG, but this Abaddon is gonna be off lane. They're already lacking catch, and they're also lacking the ability to contest IG's lane at the moment, and they had to pick 3 heroes already, and IG still have another support and another carry to pick. So let's see what IG's next pick is.
10 seconds 5 remaining. Seconds remaining. Reserve time. OG's turn to pick.
So Crystal Maiden is IG's next pick. Alright, so this is kind of like how do I want to put this? IG are sort of sacrificing some debate ability here by picking the CM, because what happens is if they save your support for the last pick all the way back here. You can you can debate the enemy by making them think Lina is mid, but instead the Lina will be support, and they'll pick an actual mid hero right here. But they picked a CM here, and probably because they believe if they just have this hero now and they can hide an offlaner or a carry for these last two picks, they're gonna feel much better. So they're sacrificing the ability to debate, and they just picked the Crystal Maiden. Now, in this tournament, the Crystal Maiden Monkey together actually destroyed every game. They just destroyed. These two heroes are absolutely amazing. They're two very powerful team fighters. Monkey King is a hero who likes to roam around and use a lot of mana by casting his Primal Spring and his stun and whatnot, and he actually runs out of mana rather quickly. And Lina as well. Lina CM is extremely powerful combo. Lina's a hero who constantly spamming out spells. She benefits very highly from the Arcane Aura, and Crystal Maiden can just make the games of Monkey and Lina much faster. So picking this Crystal Maiden created a lot of value for IG on their first two picks. And now these two heroes who are constantly going to be running around the map and killing people suddenly became even scarier, because now they don't have to go back to base as often, and they can just constantly be a threat on the map. So Crystal Maiden Monkey King, laning wise, very powerful as well. They have slows and stuns, both of them. Also, yeah. And when you have Monkey CM, if your Monkey King is gonna be zoning an offlaner by himself, you don't really want your other support to be there, right? So now that you have a Crystal Maiden, she can even jungle. If OG somehow decide that they're just gonna throw one hero into the offlane, this Monkey will just probably zone him, and then the CM is just gonna jungle, and suddenly you're creating so much efficiency for your team. You're creating a lot of net worth and experience, and OG are not gonna feel that good since they don't really have a jungler themselves, and their zoning ability is not that great either. So right now, like, IG's draft is looking so strong. Their team fight is very powerful, and their laning abilities are very powerful. What is OG's next pick?
10 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Storm Spirit. Alright. Uh, Seems a little hard. So, how do OG feel at the moment? They feel like they have no real catch ability. They have an Earth Spirit. He's not really that good of a catch hero. So, and S4 is already on an Abaddon. They probably feel like they need something like a Storm. So at least later on in the game, you have some abilities to catch IG out if they ever try to split push or anything like that. But looking at IG's lineup, they have Monkey King, who's capable of punishing Storm's laning since he doesn't have any escape mechanism till level 6. You got Lina, who is probably the best laner at the moment. And now you have to play Lina versus a Storm Spirit. Probably Storm is going to be fine in the first couple of waves since he has high armor, and he can just use his Remnant to farm. But Lina going into level 3, level 4, level 5, she becomes extremely scary. Even without Laguna Blade, there's a Monkey King roaming the map. She can kill the Storm Spirit. And as for Storm Earth Spirit combo, Storm is this kind of hero who just goes into the jungle whenever he feels like the enemy has too high of a kill threat on him. And Earth Spirit is the hero that wants to be able to constantly roll on mid lane and try to kill the enemy mid. So this feels kind of awkward for OG's mid and their roamer to synergize that well together during the laning stage. But Storm against CM, it used to be a very good counter since CM has like no way to actually deal with the Storm Spirit in a team fight. Storm would just zip in, kill the Maiden. The enemy will lose their 5th position support, their Crystal Maiden aura, everything, and Storm will just get out. But now Crystal Maiden actually has Frostbite that roots the enemy, and roots destroy Storm. So it's not the same as before where Storm can just zip in and kill Maiden. Now Maiden can actually fight back. And this one root is easy for IG to just set up on and burst the Storm Spirit since they have multiple follow-up disables. Um, so let's look at what IG are going to react to the Storm Spirit pick with. To be honest, I still don't really like it that much. I feel like their synergy between all their heroes is kind of lacking, and IG still has the ability to team fight even with these, just with 3 heroes so far. So let's see the next pick.
10 seconds reserved remaining.
Legion Commander.
OG's turn
Alright.
to ban.
Legion Commander, a hero that was quite underrated during DAC, I would think. Well, it's hard to say underrated, right? It was picked enough, but I feel like it could have been picked more. This hero, Legion Commander, is an extremely powerful laning hero. She has very high HP pool. She buys Poor Man's Shield. She has overwhelming odds that deal insane amount of damage during in the lane. And now she's paired with a Crystal Maiden, so pretty much like every 50 seconds she Legion Commander has like a free spell or something. And these 2 heroes, they synergize quite well with each other. um, Legion is also a hero who can bite against the Abaddon in a 1v1 situation and be in a good place in the game. So if for some reason OG decide that they're gonna go aggro tri-lane against a monkey CM, they're not gonna feel too good about a Legion fighting against an Abaddon on the other side either. So IG already thinking about their lanes and how they want to how they want to play it out. So right now, if they're thinking about what the options OG have. They're thinking about how OG can possibly lane to screw up IG's draft, and they decided that if they pick Legion Commander, no matter how OG lane, if they send their tri-lane aggressive or their tri-lane defensive, this hero is gonna be fine. And when you play a Visage support versus a Legion, all she has to do is use press the attack and remove the Grave Chill, and her laning is perfectly fine. Against Earth Spirit, same thing. If Earth Spirit ever uses Rolling Boulder on Legion Commander, she's just gonna use press the attack and walk away, and it's gonna be a perfect lane for the Legion Commander for now, at least. Looking at the 2 supports and the offlaning hero, and Legion is probably quite good with Monkey King as well. If Monkey King ever comes to the Legion's lane, with the amount of burst damage they have with overwhelming odds, and then a slow and a stun, you're probably gonna kill the Trallin as well. So this is the kind of thoughts that IG are having when they're drafting this very key hero here, because this is their last counter picking hero that they can actually take against OG. Obviously, they could have picked a carry here, but they understood that picking the Legion Commander is OG banning a Legion Commander is more likely than OG banning whatever carry they're gonna decide to pick last. And also going into the mid game, late game, press the attack is extremely good versus Storm Spirit as well, or even like removing some Boulder Smash on Alina or anything like that. It's just she's just a very powerful hero at the moment. All her spells do a lot, and also it can catch the Abaddon as well and silence him. So if at some point this Legion gets like Silver Edge, she can hit the or anyone on IG gets Silver Edge, they can hit the Abaddon, ult him, and kill him before his ult procs. Alright, what are the last bans? OG have banned out Anti-Mage. So OG respecting the burning Anti-Mage versus Storm Spirit. Anti-Mage is like he's a he's a pretty good hero versus Abaddon and Storm. Abaddon extremely weak against mana burning heroes. If he goes into a lane, he has no mana. He cannot cast his Apothic Shield, and that means he cannot remove any stuns, and the lane is very hard. And he would have to go and jungle, and you don't really want to go and jungle against a Monkey King. So that's one hero Anti-Mage is good against, and then against Storm Spirit, very obvious. Storm Spirit uses a lot of mana to take a team fight, and he has a very large mana pool. If he does not have a Linken's, Anti-Mage just uses ultimate on the Storm Spirit. He's most likely just gonna kill everybody on his team. So a good ban, but if IG felt like they really wanted this anti-mage, it's very likely they would have just picked the anti-mage right here. But I think IG already had other plans for this draft. So let's go with IG's ban.
10 seconds.
And this
5
is
seconds
sort of like a
remaining.
blind ban for IG, right? They're not really sure what OG want, but they banned the Vengeful Spirit. No-Tail played it in game 1, and how IG probably thinking is that OG need to be able to push them down somehow maybe, or they need some more damage output from OG. And Vengeful Spirit is this hero who pairs very well with Abaddon to push down towers together. They have a lot of auras that help each other, and Venge is also a stun and can help carry this game, I guess. It's kind of like an iffy ban. Like you really can't tell what OG wants, because OG's pick is going to be based off whatever you pick right here, right? So you need to like already understand what you pick here in order to ban an efficient hero over here. So they just banned out the
Dire
bench.
team pick.
And IG's
Juggernaut.
last
OG's
pick
turn
is
to
a
pick.
Juggernaut. Yeah, I can see it. So right now they have a lot of sustain, like from Crystal Maiden Aura. They have press the attack. I think Juggernaut, what he provides as a pushing hero is quite nice. Right now IG's only push ability is like a Lina, but she needs to like go into she needs to be higher levels to be able to do that. So how IG think is they have all the abilities in the game they need to be able to take team fights and and to take team fights and kill the enemy and catch the enemy. So all they want from their last pick is probably a hero who won't really be screwed with by an Abaddon, and a hero who's capable of taking towers for his team. So with the abilities of Healing Ward and Juggernaut's damage output, it's gonna be very easy for him to be able to do that in this game, since all he has to really focus on is doing that. And it's not like it's not bad that they picked Juggernaut, to be able to fight as well. It's actually very good that they picked this hero. They had an option to take Lifestealer, but perhaps Lifestealer is a bit more of a slower hero for IG in this draft. They probably just want the Juggernaut so they can play extremely fast. They just want to be able to take their timings on level 7, where power or overwhelming odds is maxed out. Lina's spells are maxed out, and Monkey King has ultimate, and they just want to go to towers, and they just want to dump all their spells on the enemy if they would try to come and fight them, and just win it like that. And after the fight, they always have Healing Word. They can just heal up and go for the next tower even. I think IG's lineup looks extremely scary in this game. And Juggernaut is also a pretty good hero to like lane against an Abaddon. His shield won't really proc on Juggernaut and do damage if he's using Blade Fury. And Earth Spirit feels like absolute garbage if you would ever roll onto a Juggernaut. If you ever roll onto a Juggernaut, you're just gonna cast spin and then follow this Earth Spirit. There's nothing Earth Spirit can do about it. And I guess we should also mention that Healing Word is a very good counter to Magnetize, and this is one of the biggest spells that make Earth Spirit a very strong hero in team fights. But Visage Birds can kill this Healing Word. To be honest, like I think it's so hard for Visage Birds to even get inside of a team fight of IGs at the moment, because they might honestly just die to like some collateral spells coming out, because they won't be able to be near a 5th position Visage that has his passive on. And now OG have the last pick. I'm really not sure what they can pick here to make their lineup work, but at the moment I'm not really liking the flow. But this is the last pick. They've been saving this pick. This hero needs to be able to counter Monkey, Lina, CM, Legion, Juggernaut. Like, these are probably the strongest heroes of the patch of this tournament, DAC. So let's check it out.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Slark.
Alright, I want to see the bands too. Okay, it's fine. So Slark is the last pick for OG. It's really hard to see like how they're gonna make the Slark work, because Slark is like a, how do you call it? He's a liability in this draft, right? Because you already have an Abaddon and you have a Visage. So what does that mean? You have an Abaddon, you have a Visage. Abaddon, in this game when he's playing against Monkey, he needs help. This hero cannot function if he cannot enter a lane or cannot get experience. It's impossible for Abaddon to function. So now that you pick Slark and you already had a Visage who isn't a very good zoner to begin with, you need to help this Slark. Like Slark is also a hero where you want to give free farm, or secondly, if you can't give Slark free farm, you just leave him on his own so that he can get experience, get to level 6, so he gets solo XP, and then he can just go jungle straight up and he will catch up very quickly. But OG's lineup, since they first tuned Earthspray at the Visage, they don't really have the ability to leave Slark and try to accomplish something else on the map. Because Visage is not this hero who can roam around the map. He's not a hero who can just go aggressive and be fine. This hero has 0 armor, negative movement speed, and needs experience. And their tri-lane isn't that powerful. It's an Abaddon Earth Spirit, where if let's say they aggressive tri-lane, right? So let's think about all the options they have. They aggressive tri-lane with Visage, Earth Spirit, Abaddon. What happens? You are laning against a Juggernaut, Crystal Maiden, Monkey King. All 3 of your heroes are gonna get countered by this one Juggernaut in the lane by itself. And when CM and Monkey use their spells on an Abaddon or a Visage, and then Juggernaut uses his Blade Fury, they're just going to die, whoever that hero is. And there's a lot of AoE damage, so your other heroes are also going to be taking damage. And if Earth Spirit, let's say, rolls on a Crystal Maiden, then IG can still have the opportunity to turn this fight, just kill the Earth Spirit straight up, and maybe Crystal Maiden doesn't even die, maybe she dies, it doesn't matter. Juggernaut is gonna feel completely fine. And when you're doing this, that means that the Legion Commander is gonna be 1v1ing a Slark, and that's awful in this situation. Legion, extremely powerful hero over Slark. Slark can skill his passive, try to fight a Legion Commander with it, but it's not going to work out because he's going to be under creeps, and then overwhelming odds is going to come down, and Slark is going to lose all his HP right away. And Legion also has his own passive to fight against the Slark. So, sort of like game 1, although OG did win game 1, in game 2, I think like they're still have this liability hero where you need to protect him, you need to give him free farm. It doesn't really free up your supports, and now you're not going to feel that good. Where IG, they have a carry who lets their supports do whatever they want, and they also have like superior lanes in my opinion. So right now I strongly favor IG's heroes. OG have an opportunity to take this game if they can survive the laning stage somehow and don't lose too many towers early on. But IG's main goal, as it is their playstyle, is to win through lanes and then try to apply pressure on towers. And then once the first tower is down, they're going to start their snowball and go to the next objective and go on from there. So that is the draft of game 2, IG versus OG. Let's check out the game.